All right, let's get right into it. For generations, the advice was so simple. Go to med school and you'll be set for life. Becoming a doctor, it was seen as the ultimate achievement. We're talking prestige, security, a huge salary. It was, without a doubt, the dream career. But here's the thing, that whole idea, that golden ticket promise, it's starting to look pretty rough around the edges. When you really look at what it takes to be a doctor in 2025, that dream is cracking under the weight of a modern financial and, frankly, emotional nightmare. And this really gets to the heart of it. Recent data shows that a shocking 1 in 4 medical students now regrets their degree. Just let that sink in for a second. After all the work, all the sacrifice just to get in, a quarter of them wish they'd done something else entirely. So what on earth happened? Why is this career that we all looked up to now being called a scam by the very people living it? Okay, so to really unpack this, we have to start with the first piece of evidence in this whole investigation, the absolutely brutal, almost unbelievable financial math that aspiring doctors are up against today. The number you always hear is already a gut punch. The average med school debt is now way over $200,000. And honestly, a lot of grads are looking at closer to $300,000. But that massive number, it's not even the full story. Not by a long shot. See, the real financial trap, the thing that truly cripples you, isn't even the loan itself. It's something much, much bigger. It's a concept economists call opportunity cost. Let me just paint you a picture here. While you're grinding away in med school, your friends, the ones you graduated college with, they're starting their careers. Earning actual money, buying houses, putting cash into a 401k. They are building their lives. And you? What's your financial situation at 22? Well, you're not just earning $0, you're going backwards, fast. You're literally paying tens of thousands of dollars every year just to study, digging yourself deeper and deeper into a financial hole. So this is what we mean by opportunity cost. It's an entire decade of your life. We're talking your 20s, your early 30s, where your net income is negative. You lose 10 years of a paycheck, 10 years of compound interest that could have been growing, and you miss out on major life stuff while all your peers are getting a massive head start. And you can see just how insane the math has gotten over time. Back in the 80s, a new doctor's debt was about the same as their starting salary, a 1-to-1 ratio. Made sense, right? But today, for a lot of doctors, especially in primary care, your debt is now double your income, or more. It's completely flipped. And this all leads to this totally bizarre situation that doctors call being high-income poor. Yeah, you might have a big, impressive salary on paper, but after you pay taxes, after you make those massive loan payments, your actual take-home pay, your net worth, can be less than someone making way, way less money. It's a trap. But, okay, let's say the money doesn't scare you. You think, I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it for the science, for helping people. That's awesome. But that's when you slam headfirst into the second part of this whole scam argument, the incredible human cost of residency and its toxic culture. I mean, let's be real. In any other job, these working conditions would be flat out illegal. We're talking 80 to 100-hour work weeks for a salary that, when you break it down, comes out to something like $15 an hour. It's pure exploitation. But in the world of medicine, it's just called training. And this quote, this just nails it. For so many residents, it doesn't feel like learning. It feels like a hazing ritual. It's a culture where not sleeping is seen as a badge of honor, and if you dare to ask for help, you're seen as weak. It's brutal. And the consequences of the system are just devastating. The grim, tragic reality is that doctors die by suicide at a rate that's nearly double the general population. Think about that. We are taking some of the most caring, intelligent people in our society and putting them through a system that literally breaks them. And the damage starts so early. It's not like burnout happens after 20 years. Nope. A shocking 62% of residents show clear signs of burnout before they even finish their training. They're starting their careers already running on empty, cynical, exhausted, and just emotionally drained. So, let's say you survive the debt. You survive residency. You finally make it. Now you're facing a totally new kind of threat. One that really hits at the core of why you did all this in the first place. This growing feeling that you, the doctor, might actually be replaceable. You hear this term thrown around a lot in healthcare circles, scope creep. And what it means is that non-physician practitioners, like nurse practitioners and physician assistants, are taking on more and more responsibilities that, until recently, were only done by MDs. And when you just look at the raw numbers, you can start to see the cold, hard business logic behind it all. There's a huge difference in the years of training required and a pretty big difference in the salary, too. So if you're a hospital administrator trying to cut costs, the choice seems simple, right? Why pay a doctor 300 grand when you can pay someone else 120 grand to do a job that looks similar on paper? So, welcome to the new reality of corporate medicine. In this world, the deep, hard-won expertise of a physician, earned over a decade of blood, sweat, and tears, is often seen not as a necessity, but as a really expensive, maybe even optional luxury. And for the doctors still in the trenches, the job itself has totally changed. They're now spending, on average, 2 hours doing administrative work for every single hour they spend with patients. They're not just doctors, they're data entry clerks, fighting with insurance companies, drowning in paperwork. And this leads to something called moral distress, which is the awful feeling of knowing exactly what your patient needs, but being blocked from providing it by some bureaucratic red. So, after looking at all of this, the insane debt, the soul-crushing training, the changing landscape of the profession, it all comes down to one big question. Is becoming a doctor in 2025 still a noble calling, or has it become a flat-out scam? And here's the verdict, based on everything we've seen. If your main reason for going into medicine is the money, then yeah, it's a scam, 100%. There are way, way easier and faster ways to get rich in this world, but if you have that unshakable, genuine calling for science and for helping people at their most vulnerable moments, then it is still a vocation. It has to be. But even for those who have that true calling, the advice has to change. You have to be smart. You have to become what some people are calling a financial medic. And that means you live like a broke student for years after you graduate until those loans are gone. It means you pick your specialty very carefully, thinking about lifestyle and pay. And maybe most important of all, you have to fiercely, proactively protect your own mental health, because you can be damn sure the system isn't going to do it for you. Which really just leaves us with this final, crucial question to think about. In this new world of corporate medicine, crippling debt, and even AI starting to help with diagnosis, is that title, MD, still worth the enormous personal and financial price you have to pay to get it? Honestly, the answer has never been more complicated.